Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
We begin here at 5 with concerns about the weather. We're watching Exact Track 4D radar. Severe weather again moving into Metro Detroit.
All right, take a live look outside from our Ann Arbor sky cam, and you can see the rain on the lens there.
And you can feel the humidity in the air when you walk outside right now, too.
All right, so let's get things started off with Kim Adams. Kim, we've got some warnings out there.
We do. We have two that we're very concerned about right now. Two severe thunderstorm warnings, one for Livingston County until 5:30, the other for Washtenaw County until 5:45. Watching two cells very, very closely as we zoom in here on this cell, the one moving through parts of northern Washtenaw County. We're a little concerned about this one because we're starting to see some signs of rotation in the northern part. So Webster and South Lyon, those two cities, there's not a tornado warning right now, but as meteorologists, this is what we look at to see. This is the velocity. Looking to see signs of rotation. We're also getting some reports of very large hail, up to an inch to an inch and a half. An inch is about a quarter, the size of a coin, a quarter, and you get it up to an inch and a half and even 2 inches, and you're getting closer to golf ball, even tennis size. So very large hail in this cell. Then the other cell that we're watching closely is this one up in Livingston County. It's just to the west of Brighton. You're probably hearing the thunder right now in Brighton, also in Howell, but it's out to the west. The purple that you see there, that's what we're watching very, very closely for, again, signs of rotation. It's still a little bit disorganized, not very tight. It's very wide, but the National Weather Service and those of us here in the Local 4 Weather Center, we're also watching for the signs of rotation, which could mean a possible tornado. So if you're in Livingston or Washtenaw County, you need to start making your storm preps now. Go ahead and go make sure the kids are inside, everyone's inside. These storms are moving to the east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. They've slowed down just a little bit, but I want to track the one here that we're concerned about. That's the purple with the large hail. Winds are also up to 60 miles per hour. So damaging winds. If you are in Wixom, this will be to you by 5:26. Novi 5:33. It will be at 12 Oaks Mall at 5, also just after 5:30. Walled Lake 5:35, Wolverine Lake 5:37, and in Commerce Township at 5:39. So things that you'll need to watch out for with this particular cell: wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour, large hail, and again the possibility of isolated tornadoes. Here's the storm timeline for the rest of Metro Detroit. If you're in Oakland County, start getting ready because I fully expect you'll get a warning here before this show is done. Storms continue to keep popping over the next hour. The strongest storms are now here, and they will stay here until about 8 o'clock tonight, moving from west to east. So if you're on the east side, you have a little bit longer. And again, the storms have slowed down just a little bit. They were moving pretty quickly at about 40 miles per hour, now down to 20, 25. But definitely heads up for Oakland County, and then also moving into Wayne County and Macomb County as well. If we can just go back to the radar for a second here, I want to go back and show you those two cells that we are most concerned about. There you go, in Howell. I'm going to zoom it out for you. So here's the east side, Sterling Heights, Warren, Hamtramck. You've got a little bit of time, but if you're right in this area in Oakland County, Walled Lake, Novi, Pontiac, down into parts of Wayne County, Northville, Plymouth, Novi, Canton, two cells that we're watching very, very closely, one in Livingston County, one in Washtenaw County. For those of you just joining us, we have two severe thunderstorm warnings. One is for Livingston County. That one expires at 5:30. The one for Washtenaw County, right around the Ann Arbor area, north into Webster, that is in effect until 5:45. But we're watching very, very closely. No tornado warnings right now, but as we're looking at that velocity, we are seeing some signs that there could be potential rotation within those cells. If that happens, we'll get really tight and do some street level mapping so you'll know exactly who is affected by that area. I'll have more and track these storms coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Kim, we'll see you in a few. We are uncovering troubling new information tonight into the DDOT bus driver behind the wheel in a deadly crash.
Exactly. Geraldine Johnson has been involved in 7 other crashes before this latest deadly crash in downtown Detroit. Judge calling her a danger at her arraignment. She was then given a $100,000 bond. Sean Lay's been digging into that record of hers. Sean, you've been asking the city about this. Have you had a response from them yet?
A statement from DDOT's director. We've been asking to interview DDOT's director since yesterday when we started learning about the driving history that was now pulled from Johnson from the state that includes one fatal accident. Now she has 2 fatal accidents on her record. Still unable to reach the DDOT director. Did put out a statement at 4:22. We will get to that. However, others are speaking up tonight. Take a look. Yesterday and today, we're asking the city, we're asking DDOT, why was she, Miss Johnson, allowed to drive a bus? We're not getting an answer on that. They say it's all under review. What do you say?
The city of Detroit, unfortunately, isn't going to be truthful with you on this. They will not answer this question because the only truthful answer that they can give you will fully incriminate the systemic failure that led to the death of Miss Bauer.
Attorney James Harrington at Figer Law is well aware of DDOT driver Geraldine Johnson. Video from her DDOT bus in 2015 shows Joey Davis getting off her bus, getting his bike, then Johnson hit him, killing Mr. Davis. Today, we pulled Johnson's state record showing her license to drive a bus was then suspended, then restricted. At one point, the state deemed her unqualified. We're asking the city and asking DDOT why was Johnson allowed to keep driving a bus? So far, we have not gotten an answer. Should she have been allowed to drive a bus?
Absolutely not, under no circumstances.
2 weeks ago, Janice Bauer had the signal and was in a crosswalk downtown. Johnson hit her with her DDOT bus, killing her. Johnson's neighbors in Harper Woods asking the same question. How and why was she allowed to be on the road?
She is still trusted to, transport people who are in a category that really need to depend on her or her driving skills. And to me, that's scary.
In 2018, she's involved in a crash. In 2019, she's involved in 2 crashes. In 2020, she's involved in another crash. In 2021, another crash. 2022, another crash. And in 2023, unfortunately, she kills Miss Bauer.
How is that acceptable?
It's not.
Back here live. Like I said, we just got a statement now at 4:22 from the director of transit, Michael Oglesby. He says, quote, since this terrible accident occurred 2 weeks ago, we have been engaged in a full review of Ms. Johnson's record and all related departmental policies and procedures. Once that review is completed, we will be better positioned to respond to questions about her driving and employment history with DDOT. Following the accident, Ms. Johnson was terminated. We'll continue to ask the questions, hopefully get those answers. Back to you.
And Sean, I believe you've seen and watched the video of that 2015 crash.
We did, and it's incredibly disturbing. After Mr. Davis is right in front of her bus getting his bike off, and the bus goes right over him. And instead of radioing or calling 911, the driver panics for a good minute or so, screaming. No one is helping Mr. Davis. That kind of goes back to the training situation. Buses are equipped with multiple cameras. This latest fatality, also all on camera.
All right, Sean. Other news tonight, the parents of a 6-year-old boy who shot his 11-month-old brother are now facing criminal charges.
Lolita Morgan and Mandel Berryman are both charged with child abuse in the case, along with other gun charges. Let's get out to Victor Williams. He's live for us tonight. And Victor, that infant was shot in the face.
Yeah, that's true, Christy and Devin. And the good thing to come out of all of this, if any, is that this young man or little boy is expected to be okay. He did have to have facial reconstructive surgery. On top of that, he has had other surgeries for that gunshot wound to the face as well as the shoulder. But now it's time for his parents to answer to the judge in what's going to be the first step in a very long journey.
Part of what troubles me here is the allegation.
28-year-old Lolita Morgan and 50-year-old Mandel Berryman have both been charged with second-degree child abuse and connection to the shooting of their 11-month-old son.
One of the children was interviewed and stated that they heard another child tell this child to get the gun.
Back on June the 2nd, investigators say that Lolita's 6-year-old son somehow got a hold of a loaded gun that was sitting up high on a shelf and somehow shot the baby twice, once in the face and once in the shoulder.
They then saw him stand up on a chair to get the gun that was on the black thing in the food area. He then got down from the chair and he had shot the other child.
Berryman looked remorseful the entire time, shaking his head and even looking to the sky, the prosecuting attorney insisting he shouldn't have been home with the gun in the first place since he has multiple prior felonies. He was given a bond worth $50,000. Lolita, on the other hand, seemed remorseful, hanging her head the entire time.
The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf.
It's believed she's the actual owner of the weapon. She was given a bond in the amount of $35,000.
She's the first of the two defendants listed on the complaint.
And both are due back in court on Tuesday morning. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, thanks so much, Victor.
A woman accused of killing her father with chemical drain cleaner has been found guilty.
12 jurors have decided that Megan Joyce Emirowitz threw lye on her sleeping 64-year-old father back in 2021. He was treated for chemical burns and put on life support, but he died 5 months later from complications from those chemicals. Emirowitz is currently being held without bond. Her sentencing is scheduled for July 25th.
Major freeway is going to be getting to downtown pretty difficult this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to tell you where those orange barrels are going up and the best way to get all around it. Tim?
Dogs of all shapes and sizes are joining in on this training on Detroit Seaside today. Training that's critically important.
So what we've done is we have buried some human remains.
We go along with the dogs on the training exercise coming up on Local 4.
I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. Are you thinking of signing up for TSA PreCheck? Beware. Tonight, the TSA issuing a scam alert, and you're going to hear from a local woman in Canton who got duped. It's coming.